Football season is here, so don't be scared. You won't miss a beat. Crank it up and get ready to groove. We're playing the hits and rolling the buzz clips, so stay tuned or you'll be all wet. It's gonna be good because we want you to flip over the latest edition of Cobb Prep Rally.
Hi, and welcome back to Cobb Prep Rally. You found the best spot on the dial to get info about Cobb County High School sports.
Now we want to remind you again about our show times. On Wamedco Cable, we're on Channel 2. That's on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 7 o'clock. On Summit Cable, that's Channel 5. We're on Wednesday and Thursday at 7 and Fridays at 5:30.
And last week, we brought you highlights from the big McEacher and Warner-Robins game. And now that football season is in full swing, we're going to bring you highlights from 4 big games every week.
We're going to get to everybody, and this week we're starting off with big game number 1, North Cobb versus Sprayberry.
North Cobb traveled to Sprayberry to see the debut of new head coach Ronnie White. The game remained scoreless well into the second half due to the swarming Yellow Jacket defense. North Cobb's defense was equal to the challenge, holding Sprayberry to 108 yards of total offense, here by smothering the swing pass to Jacket Derek Johnson. After taking over possession, North Cobb had their best chance of the game late in the third quarter. On 3rd and long, the Warriors convert the short pass for a first down. Still pushing deeper into Sprayberry territory, North Cobb junior tailback Don Munden picks up 12 on this run. The Warriors couldn't move much farther, though, because on 4th down, the Sprayberry defense steps up again, taking the ball away on downs. Sprayberry's Marlon Bird broke the scoreless tie late in the 4th on this 7-yard TD run, giving the Yellow Jackets the lead. The extra point was missed, and Sprayberry led by 6 with about 3 minutes to go. But on the ensuing kickoff, the Warriors can't find the handle, and Sprayberry recovers. They ran out the clock and held on to win.
Our defense played exceptional the whole night because physically we didn't match up well with North Cobb. And that's a battle we're going to have to fight all year long.
Sprayberry won it by a final of 6-0. Yellow Jacket Marlon Bird had 15 carries for 55 yards and the touchdown. Meanwhile, North Cobb's Don Munden had 22 carries for 107 yards. For big game number 2, we traveled to Wheeler, where Jim Cagle's Lassiter Trojans took on Jeff Hollis's Wheeler Wildcats. Lassiter traveled to Wildcat Stadium to open their season, and after an early turnover, Wheeler took advantage by marching 80 yards in 17 plays. Wildcat Bobby Tanner finishes off the drive with this 5-yard run, and Wheeler took the 7-0 lead. On Lassiter's next possession, the pitch gets away, and Wheeler pounces on it, giving the Wildcats the ball on the Lassiter 7-yard line. Wheeler quickly took advantage of Lassiter's second turnover of the game as quarterback Chris Crawford hits Danny Allen on the 13-yard scoring strike. Wheeler took a 14-0 lead with 3:31 remaining in the first quarter. Wildcat coach Jeff Hollis knew they weren't through yet. On their next possession, Wheeler fullback Bobby Tanner strikes again, this time from 32 yards away, increasing their lead to 21 in the second quarter. Still in the second quarter, after another costly turnover by the Trojans, Wheeler tacked on another 6 points on the TD pass from Crawford to Taylor Clark. The extra point was good, and Wheeler led by 28. And that's the way it ended. Chris Crawford hit on 7 of 19 passes for 66 yards and 2 TDs, while Bobby Tanner racked up 45 yards on 7 carries and scored twice.
We'll have highlights from 2 more games later on in the show. But now, let's backtrack to those days of anticipation before the start of the season. Here's a look at pregame festivities and the immense amount of support that the schools give to their players.
Every school likes to get its students involved in the spirit and excitement of high school football. And what better way to do that than a pep rally?
I think they're really special because everyone gets into them. Everyone cheers all the time. It's not like sitting down and no spirit. We have a lot of spirit here, and we have a lot of spirit at the games, which is part of the pep rally also.
To get everyone pumped up so they go to the game and get them a lot of spirit so they want to go and support our team.
Well, every pep rally has a way of getting everyone involved. The band plays, the cheerleaders cheer, and the freshmen get drenched. Well, at least at Wheeler High School, where every year they have freshman initiation. This year, a band of hitmen using water cannons rushed the freshman bleachers and doused them. What a nice welcome. But that wasn't all. A select few got the opportunity to compete in a game. Actually, it was more of a prank. As the freshmen lift the boxes on the table, Jamal Jones awaits underneath to scare the wits out of them. And hey, in front of the entire student body. It's all for a good cause as the 4 classes compete for spirit points. to see which class has the most enthusiasm.
That's like a big deal at the end of the year, whoever has the most spirit points, and this is for a spirit point. So whatever class is the loudest and the most spirited gets a spirit point.
And by the end of the rally, the music's pumping and the students are ready for Friday's game. Coming up on Cobb Prep Rally, get the buzz on our Scholar Athlete of the Week, Sprayberry Yellow Jacket, Gerald Bennett. Plus, Bob Giles peers into his crystal ball for this week's Beat Bob contest. We'll swing over to the diamond for some Cobb County softball, and our Hot Shot contest splits the uprights. Don't go away.
Larry, where do you think you're going with that?
The oven?
The oven, Larry? Perfect.
At Papa John's, our mission is to deliver the perfect pizza.
Meet Linda Thompson. She's an active member of the East Cobb business community and a leader in education circles, but you probably know her better as president of Cobb American Bank. She enjoys what she does and might send you away in a better mood, too. Get to know Linda and your friends at Cobb American Bank.
If football is king in Cobb County, then welcome to the Pigskin Palace. Pro Sports is loaded with helmets, pads, and gear for little leaguers and the varsity. 21 years of fitting experience can't be wrong, so go with the pros. Pro Sports with 2 locations, including Powder Springs Road in West Cobb.
Purchasing jewelry should not be scary. It should be enjoyable and comfortable. We have a small town attitude in that our customers are our friends. We manufacture jewelry. We have extensive knowledge on diamonds and colored stones, and we feel that this better enables us to help serve your needs in finding out exactly what you want. Fine quality in jewelry should last you a lifetime, and it's something that you'll always be proud of.
Serving East Cobb since 1979, Edward John's Jewelers.
Tonight's Scholar Athlete of the Week is brought to you by the Huntington Exam Prep Center in Marietta. SAT instruction at Huntington is always guaranteed. Be proud of your SAT score. Call today.
As the Sprayberry football team prepares for Friday night's game, offensive tackle and our Scholar Athlete of the Week, Gerald Bennett, is brushing up his skills for the college scouts. With great size and ability, Gerald has a real shot at a scholarship to play college football. Gerald also boasts a grade point average of 3.5 because he knows he can't rely on sports for his future.
To me, academics has got to come first, and if your grades are slacking and you're not, your schoolwork is not doing well, then you've got to put more emphasis on that. I mean, sports is nice and it's fun, but to get somewhere in the world, you've got to have knowledge, and that's the most important thing.
Gerald would like to get a good education in engineering and is very interested in research and design of airplanes. He has lofty goals, but those who know him believe he'll achieve success.
I've been fortunate enough to have Gerald both in the classroom and to have him on the field. He's a hard worker. Academically, he's excelled very well in the classroom, as he has on the football field. Gerald has worked very hard on the football field, has worked throughout the off season, especially, working on his feet, jumping the rope, lifting the weights, and when he sets his mind to do something, the young lad works real well.
Gerald has to budget his time between school, football, and a part-time job at Kmart. He hopes his hard work will pay off in more ways than one.
I'd like to go to the place where I can get the best education, and then after that, if I can get places with good education, then I'd like to go to a big school, so maybe have a chance at a national title or something. But education is the most important.
With so much going for him, Gerald is certain to have a bright future. Well, our thanks to Gerald Bennett from Sprayberry for being our Scholar Athlete of the Week.
And now we're going to shift gears and cover all the bases as we head to the softball diamond to check out the highlights from the North Cobb-Osborne softball game. Osborne rolled into North Cobb to take on the Warriors, and in the top of the fourth, Osborne came out slugging with 5 straight hits. Lee Ledbetter, Courtney Edom, Jennifer Carmen, Montrine Thomas, and Nicole Blair all got aboard. Osborne plated 5 in the inning and took a 6-0 lead. The Cardinals headed into the field in the bottom of the 5th, looking to hold North Cobb. But number 12, Missy Spruill, cracks the base hit and drives in number 16, Tara Smith. The Warriors picked up 2, but still trailed 7-2. North Cobb's Coach Cochran needed some more runs, but Osborne's Ashley Akins added some insurance by batting in Randa Husley, and Osborne's tremendous offense won them the game.
The girls came out and hit the ball real good, and we scored a bunch of runs, and of course that was the difference in the ball game. We hit, and they didn't.
The Cardinals scored 5 runs in the top of the 4th, propelling Osborne to the 10-3 win over North Cobb.
To the west, the 5-4 Campbell Spartans battled the 3-2 Alexander Cougars. After Misty Smith's 3-run triple and this RBI by Jennifer Bartlett, the Spartans held a very comfortable 5-2 lead at the end of the first. Injured backup pitcher Melody Brockman watches the star of the show, Mandy Cowan, as she bats in Jennifer Bartlett. Then, at the bottom of the 5th, Cowan brings home Kelly Teague for a solid 11-3 lead, and the crowd goes wild. The Cougars produced 2 more runs, but Campbell's 6-run lead was too much to overcome.
They opened the game with 2, and we came back with 5 in the first inning, and I think that just told them that we're going to be in the ball game.
Campbell took advantage of their early lead and pulled out a huge 11-5 win. Mandy Cowan was the star of the show, going 4 for 4 with 2 ribbies and 2 runs scored.
Hi, this is Bob Giles, sports editor of the Cobb Extra. Get your pencil ready. Your chance to beat Bob is coming up right after you watch the Play of the Week.
Tonight's Play of the Week is brought to you by Pro Sports. Check out our selection of JanSport bags and letter jackets. Pro Sports with 2 locations.
We're back at Buffalo's Cafe in Mableton on Whispering Pines Road, and it's time to make next week's football picks. Hurry in between now and game time for a chance to beat Bob and win a free bash night at Buffalo's. Now, let's salute last week's 6 winners. Okay, let's take a look first at Region 5 Quad A. Cass at Pebblebrook. These pair of 5-5 teams from last year will go at each other at Pebblebrook, and you wonder how the Falcons will hold up in these warm weather early season games because they play so many kids both ways. Still, I like Pebblebrook in this one, 14-7. Campbell at Harrison. Both these teams are trying to bounce back from shaky seasons in 1993. It's a tough one to pick, but I think Harrison will play a little better defense early in the season and come away with a 21-14 victory. Alexander at McEachin. This is a matchup of 2 teams that usually end up in the state playoffs. It should be a good one. I see a defensive struggle with McEachin squeezing out a 10-7 victory. Osborne at North Cobb. Both these teams were playoff qualifiers last year, and they're looking to get back again. Osborne probably has a little bit more offense than North Cobb, but so I see the Cardinals taking a 21-10 victory. Northwest Whitfield at South Cobb. Well, Northwest Whitfield's a newcomer to 5 Quad A. They were a AAA team last year with a 7-3 record. They've got the quarterback back, and he's a good one. Threw for over 1,800 yards. I see Northwest taking a 14-10 victory. Now to 6 Quad A. Pope at Lassiter. Pope won this battle last year between the 2 neighborhood rivals, 34-0. I think Pope will win again fairly handily, not that handily, maybe by a 24-7 score. Sprayberry at Walton. Sprayberry hasn't had much luck the last couple of years with Walton. They lost to the Raiders last year 28-17. I see Walton squeezing out a 21-17 victory this year. And there you go. Don't forget to fill out your Beat Bob contest form in any of the 6 area Buffalo's cafes. 1 winner per store per week. We'll see you next week at another Buffalo's location. Until then, this is Bob Giles. See you next time.
Still to come on Cobb Prep Rally, highlights from 2 more big games, including the barn burner between Pope and Marietta. We head to South Cobb for the always entertaining Minute Mike, and stay close to the phone. Our mystery trivia guest is straight ahead.
Join the Huntington Exam Prep Honor Roll. Cobb County High School students just like Lena are raving about the SAT course at Huntington. And why not? Their SAT scores improve as much as 150 points after the Huntington program. Call the Huntington Exam Prep Center today and get your best possible SAT score.
This city has some of the finest restaurants in the world. Of course, it has some of the funnest restaurants in the world, too. Buffalo's Cafe. Nothing fancy, just good food and a darn good time.
Community pride comes in many forms. You can see it in your children. You can feel it on Friday nights in front of your friends and neighbors. Or you can show it in ways that aren't so plain to see. Showing pride in your community is something you want to do, but never something you have to do. At Cobb American Bank, we feel that pride. We think it means supporting our local residents and schools. After all, if you're investing in us, then we need to invest in you. Keep your money in a bank that shares your pride in East Cobb. Cobb American Bank, member FDIC.
When it comes to buying fine jewelry, the name on the wall may make the difference. At Edward John's Jewelers, we understand your need to feel comfortable when it's time to decide. We hope 15 years of giving back to East Cobb means something to you because it means everything to us. Edward John's Jewelers. Introducing the Hair Pizzazz haircut. Yeah, that's the ticket. Possibly, maybe, I give up. Yes, Hair Pizzazz. Put some pizzazz into your hair.
Get ready for the Cobb Prep Rally $1,000 college scholarship presented by your friends at Cobb American Bank and Edward John's Jewelers. It's coming in November. Watch for more details.
Welcome to the first week of our Papa John's Hot Shots competition. We were at Wheeler High School this week, and our contestants are Lance Sabo and Spencer Collins from Wheeler. Here we go. Lance punched the ball, and yes, he just did get the 25 yards he needed. Next, the 20-yard pass. It's complete. Okay, if he can hit the field goal from 15 yards away, they win pizza from Papa John's. It's up. It's good. We congratulate our contestants, and we'll see you next week on the field. For big game number 3, we traveled to Marietta, where the Greyhounds of Pope took on the Marietta Blue Devils in our game of the week.
Late into the third quarter, the Devils held a comfortable 21-7 lead. Then the game turned into a dogfight as the Greyhounds pushed toward the Marietta goal. Only 1 yard away from a touchdown, Pope quarterback Brian Hampton dives in for the score. Tack on the extra point, and Pope closes the gap to 7 points at the end of the third. Early in the fourth quarter, Marietta fumbles on the 3-yard line and gives Pope a chance to even the score. And 2 plays later, Robert Jackson makes the 1-yard scoring run. The extra point can tie the game. Marietta gets hit with an offsides call, and Pope moves in closer for the kick. But Stephen Galbraith sends it wide right. Pope 20, Marietta 21. After an unsuccessful drive by Marietta, Pope gets the ball, but not for long. Anthony Grant makes the 3rd interception of the night off of Brian Hampton. The Devils push to the 6-yard line, and Travis Zachary breaks through to score. The extra point pushes Marietta 8 points out of reach. Then, with 2:37 left, Keytron Thornton gets the Devils another interception. Pope eventually regains possession, and with 13 seconds to go, the Greyhounds attack through the air, but for the 5th time, a Devil interception denies the Hounds. Marietta went on to win 28-20. Devil Brian Scales dazzled the crowd early in the first quarter with an 81-yard reverse run for a touchdown, and Greyhound Robert Jackson went 108 yards on 17 carries.
For our final big game of the week, we traveled to Harrison, where their Hoyas were taking on the War Eagles of South Cobb.
Coach Billy Peak and the Eagles visit Harrison for their season opener. South Cobb held a 7-6 lead in the second quarter. On 4th and long, South Cobb was forced to punt, but Harrison was flagged for roughing the kicker, and South Cobb retained possession. Coach Cobley knew the penalty could be costly, but South Cobb was unable to move the ball, and they were forced to punt, putting the pigskin back into Hoya hands and giving Harrison a golden opportunity to overcome their 1-point deficit. The Hoya crowd wanted a score, and quarterback Rob Moore heard their call. On 2nd and 10, he rolled to his left and heaved one down the field, connecting with Marcus Tillman for the 38-yard TD reception, giving Harrison a 6-point lead. Unfortunately for the Hoyas, the Eagles spoiled their party. QB Trey Donaldson hooked up with Don Ellis for a 13-yard scoring strike in the third to edge out the Hoyas by 1 point. Well, now we're up to the most entertaining 60 seconds of the show. It's time for the Minute Mic. And this week we introduce you to Andy O'Kelly from South Cobb High School. And Andy gives us a look at his brand new truck and shows us some dance moves that just can't be beat.
All right, as soon as the coaches turn around. Uh-oh. Hey, man, back on. I can't, man. This is Coach Queen. Sometimes I get to play for him. He doesn't put me in much, but it's okay. I like being his friend. But we can go away now. We're gonna go see my truck. It's down there. It's the pretty red one. See you, Andy. It's pretty nice. It's got my CD down there and my CD player. Well, the CD player's not in there. It's a notebook bag. Because our coach is buying us sirloin steaks for the pregame meal. Ooh. Yeah. So even if I don't get to play, I get a good meal, you know, better than my mom cooks. Let the bed out. Yeah. I can dance too. You want to see me dance? Put the bed out. Look at Eddie.
Yeah. I wish I could dance like that, Andy, but I do my best work on the football field. I'm the head coach at Sprayberry High School. While I'm not busy coaching the Yellow Jackets, I like to spend my free time with my wife and kids and playing some golf. So if you know who I am, pick up your phone and call in to win.
The Wednesday night trivia question is brought to you by Hair Pizzazz in Marietta. The 5th caller through with the correct answer wins a free appointment. Call now.
Coming up next on Cobb Prep Rally, we sit down with Coach Ronnie White to talk about his successful debut as a head coach. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Join the Huntington Exam Prep Honor Roll. Cobb County High School students just like Lena are raving about the SAT course at Huntington. And why not? Their SAT scores improve as much as 150 points after the Huntington program. Call the Huntington Exam Prep Center today and get your best possible SAT score.
Are you ready for change? Presenting Hair Pizzazz of Marietta and Essentials by Matrix, the winning formula for hair and body care. The ultimate tools for your new look can be found at great salons like Hair Pizzazz. Ask a stylist for a complete Matrix makeover from your head to your toes. And you won't believe our new VibraSound experience, perfect for stress reduction. Hair Pizzazz is the salon of choice for all ages, and we'll put some pizzazz into our younger clientele. So start with Hair Pizzazz and finish with products from Matrix Essentials, Johnson Ferry Road in East Cobb.
All champions have to dress the part, and Pro Sports has got you covered from head to toe with T-shirts, hats, lightweight jackets, and leather jackets. The only place big enough to get every Cobb school under one roof is Pro Sports, with 2 locations, including Shackelford and East Cobb.
So how long have you been working here?
About 3 weeks now.
You do nice work.
Thank you. So do you.
It's not easy, you know.
I know.
Everything here has to be so perfect.
Keep up the good work. At Papa John's,
Thank you.
our mission is to deliver the perfect pizza.
Just how spicy are the extra hot wings at Buffalo's Cafe? Buffalo's Cafe. Nothing fancy, just good food and a darn good time.
Welcome back to Cobb Prep Rally. Now joining me is undefeated coach of the Sprayberry Yellow Jackets, Ronnie White. Thanks for joining us.
No problem.
The other night you had a game against North Cobb. It was your first victory as a head coach. You won 6-0. Your defense played very well,
Yes.
holding them, or shutting them out, essentially. What
How did it feel to win your first game as a head coach?
Well, it was such a close game all the way throughout. I didn't have a chance to react really until right there at the very end, and still just about speechless. My voice still hasn't come back from all the yelling and screaming, but it was a great feeling to have our kids. Not the fact that it was my first game or anything like that, but our kids played well, especially on defense, and I was real pleased with that, because in a close game, in years past in close games, we have kind of found ways to lose instead of finding ways to win, and our kids hung in there and played really well.
You mentioned you played great defense. Can you give me some of the players that stepped up?
I tell you what, our two defensive ends, Brent Bodie and Eric Alleen, played exceptional. They did exactly what we asked them to do all night long, and they made several key plays. Our linebackers played well. Mike Kreider played well from the weak side linebacker, and I think he had 14 total tackles, 7 solos, or 7 first hits, and 7 assists. And he was just all over the field. He was running down people left and right. And Jason Varner played well for us at defensive tackle. He did a lot of things down there in the middle on the defensive line. You go unnoticed sometimes. But he had a big sack for us late in the ball game that led to them turning the ball over on downs. And Jason played a real good ball game for us.
Well, you played against North Cobb, who had a great defense themselves. You were able to stick it in late in the fourth quarter to win the game. Who played on your offense? Who played well for you?
Well, you know, Marlon, everybody's been asking me about Marlon all weekend. You know, he didn't have a great game, all that kind of stuff. And, you know, his yards rushing may not have been there. He had just over 50 yards rushing, but his all-purpose yards, you know, he had a big punt return in the first half that really we maybe should have capitalized on, and you know, he ran the kickoffs back for us and different things like that. So his total yards I was pleased with. He had we had some penalties early on in the ball game, and he had a big run on our second play from scrimmage. He went about 25 yards and it got called back, and so he would have been, you know, without the penalties and things, he would have been right there around 100 yards and things like that. So I was not worried about that at all. Seth Reinhardt, for his first game at quarterback on the varsity level, I thought he did exceptional. He converted a very key third down conversion for us on that last drive, and threw the ball well right then. And he had a little trouble on the option, but for a quarterback to run the option, that's the hardest thing you can ask him to do. And so we're going to work on that. But for his first ball game, Seth did real well.
Your second game, you play at Walton.
Right.
How do you prepare your team for a game? It's your first game away. Would you do anything differently in your routine and practice?
Well, it was fun playing our first game at home, and going over to Walton is going to be a big challenge. That's not an easy place to play. Those people go crazy over there, and I've coached over there before, and the Raider Valley thing and all that stuff. But Walton does an awful lot of different things. They give you a lot of different looks on offense, and that's going to be a challenge for us on defense this week. The wing tee is a difficult offense to defend. But our routine will be basically the same. Once we get into our season, the routine before the first game is something that's completely different. Once you settle into your schedule, you know, you're pretty much set in what you can do. We'll review Friday night's game on Monday, and then Tuesday and Wednesday is our big day to prepare, and then Thursday you just brush up, and then it's time to play again. Things kind of start flying by pretty quick now.
Yeah. Well, Coach, thanks a lot for joining us.
Yes,
and good
sir.
luck against
Thank
Walton.
you, Scott. All right.
Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Cobb Prep Rally. Be sure to tune in next week when we'll have plenty of fun and excitement and highlights from 4 more big games, plus much, much more. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week.